The night was quiet inside the Grand Hotel. The city outside was alive with distant sounds, but within these walls, everything felt calm and secure, as if nothing could disturb the peace. Guests slept soundly in their comfortable beds, wrapped in soft sheets, unaware of what was about to unfold. The gentle hum of the air conditioning was the only sound in the background. The air was still, and the long hallways were empty. Shadows stretched across the carpet, and the only movement was the occasional flicker of a light. In one room, I was reading a book, just relaxing. The story in my hands was captivating, and I felt completely at ease, lost in another world. I was visiting the city for a business meeting, feeling safe and at ease. The room was a sanctuary from the busy day, and I was grateful for the comfort it offered. The hotel was tall and modern, a symbol of the city's success. Its glass windows reflected the city lights, and it stood proudly among the skyline, promising luxury and safety to all its guests. I closed my book, turned off the light, and drifted off to sleep. The bed was soft, and I felt a sense of relief as I let go of the day's worries. Suddenly, a strange beeping woke me up. It was sharp and insistent, cutting through my dreams and pulling me back to reality. I sat up, heart pounding. The sound was coming from inside the hotel. Confusion and fear mixed as I tried to make sense of what was happening. Then, I smelled smoke, sharp and unmistakable. It crept into my senses, making my skin prickle with dread. Fear hit me. I got out of bed and touched the door. It was warm. I realized the danger was real and close, not just a false alarm. The alarm was blaring now, panic rising with every second. The flashing lights outside my door made the situation feel even more urgent. I quickly put on my shoes and grabbed my phone. My hands were shaking as I tried to remember the emergency instructions. Smoke seeped under the door, filling the room. My eyes watered, and I coughed. The air was thick, making it hard to breathe, and I knew I had to act fast. The peaceful night had turned into a nightmare. The comfort of the hotel was gone, replaced by fear and uncertainty. I opened the door a crack and peered into the hallway. The world outside my room was unrecognizable, transformed by smoke and chaos. Thick, black smoke filled the corridor. I could barely see. The exit signs glowed faintly through the haze, but the way out seemed impossibly far. The air was hot and hard to breathe. People were shouting, doors slamming. Panic echoed through the halls as everyone tried to escape. The fire alarm screamed, adding to the chaos. Its shrill sound was relentless, making it impossible to think clearly. I was on a high floor, far from the ground. The thought of descending so many flights in the smoke was terrifying. The simple act of leaving my room now felt impossible. Every instinct told me to stay put, but I knew I couldn't wait for help. The beautiful hotel had become a trap. The place that once promised safety now threatened my life. The night of fire had begun, and survival was all that mattered. I had to move, fast. Every second counted, and I was determined to make it out alive.
The fire was no accident. It was the result of a deliberate, calculated act, one that would change the lives of everyone inside the hotel that night. It started with a single match in a storage closet, set by someone seeking revenge. The flicker of flame was small at first, but it was enough to ignite a chain reaction that no one could stop. Flames quickly consumed towels and cleaning supplies, feeding on everything flammable. The fire grew hungrily, devouring shelves and leaping from one item to the next. The real killer, though, was the smoke. Invisible at first, it crept through the corridors, thickening with every passing second. Thick, toxic smoke rose rapidly, filling hallways and stairwells like a silent predator. It moved faster than the flames, spreading panic and confusion. Within minutes, upper floors were choked with darkness long before flames arrived. The smoke blotted out lights, turning familiar spaces into pitch-black traps. Guests awoke to alarms and the stinging smell of smoke. Some were jolted from deep sleep, Disoriented and unsure if it was real or just a nightmare, when they opened their doors, they faced a wall of blackness. No light, no air. The smoke was so thick, it was impossible to see even a few feet ahead. Disoriented and gasping, many couldn't find their way. The air was unbreathable, burning their lungs and eyes. The familiar hotel became a confusing, hostile maze. Hallways that once led to safety now seemed endless and treacherous. The smoke spread everywhere, far beyond the fire itself. It seeped through vents and cracks, reaching rooms untouched by flames. Emergency systems failed to keep up with its speed and density. Alarms blared, but exit signs were lost in the haze, and sprinklers did little to stop the smoke. People weren't burned. They were overcome by toxic air. Many collapsed before they could even reach the stairs. The fire was contained to a few floors, but the smoke turned the entire building into a death trap. From the outside, the danger was invisible. Inside, it was everywhere. The hotel's safety features were no match for the disaster. Systems designed to protect failed when they were needed most. The smoke made escape nearly impossible. Every route out was blocked or hidden by the suffocating darkness. A single act of arson had unleashed chaos on every level, leaving devastation and heartbreak in its wake. The hotel's emergency system was fatally flawed. It was a patchwork of outdated alarms and controls, never truly tested for a real disaster. When the crisis struck, the system failed to provide clear guidance or timely warnings, leaving guests and staff in a state of confusion and fear. Exit signs were placed high on the walls, easy to see in daylight, but invisible in smoke. As thick, toxic smoke quickly filled the corridors, those signs vanished from view, offering no help to those desperate to escape. Crawling guests couldn't spot the signs meant to guide them. Forced to stay low to avoid the smoke, they moved blindly, feeling their way along unfamiliar hallways, hoping for a way out. Worse, many emergency doors were locked or blocked by furniture. Some exits were hidden behind storage or simply inaccessible, turning escape routes into dead ends. In panic, people found exits that wouldn't open, wasting precious seconds. Every failed attempt increased their terror as smoke and heat closed in. Even unlocked stairwells became deadly as smoke poured in, turning them into chimneys. The very paths designed for escape became traps, channeling smoke and heat upward. People hoping for safety found only more toxic air. Each breath became a struggle, and the hope of rescue faded with every step. Many collapsed in the very stairwells meant to save them. The promise of safety turned into a nightmare as the smoke overcame even the strongest. The hotel became a deadly maze, hidden signs, locked doors, escape routes filled with smoke. Every hallway looked the same, and every turn brought new danger. The building's design worked against its guests. Corridors twisted and turned, exits were hard to find, and the layout confused even those familiar with the hotel. Old safety codes failed the real-world test. Regulations that once seemed adequate were exposed as dangerously insufficient. They ignored how smoke behaves and how people react in crisis. The codes didn't account for panic, confusion, or the unpredictable nature of fire. The hotel was a trap waiting to be sprung. Its flaws were invisible until the moment they became fatal. In the darkness, confusion reigned. Guests lost their sense of direction, and panic spread as the situation grew more desperate. Survival depended on luck and instinct, not on the building's design. In the end, the hotel's failures left its guests to face the fire alone, with little more than hope to guide them. Amid the chaos, stories of courage emerged, many from women. Mothers wrapped wet towels around their children, crawling low through smoke. Businesswomen guided colleagues by hand, becoming leaders in the darkness.
My first thought was for my children. I wrapped them in wet blankets, told them it was a game, and crawled, counting doors to find the stairs. I gathered my team, formed a human chain, and led them through the smoke, keeping everyone together.
These women relied on memory, instinct, and responsibility for others. They weren't trained for disaster, but their actions saved lives. In a crisis, roles and relationships mattered. A mother's instinct or a manager's duty became powerful survival tools. They weren't just victims, they were rescuers, making critical decisions in the worst conditions. Their stories revealed what safety codes had ignored: the human element. After the fire, survivors, especially women, spoke out, exposing the real reasons for the tragedy.
We described crawling, searching for exit signs we couldn't see, trapped by smoke.
We confirmed the high-placed signs were useless in a real fire.
Our voices made it impossible to ignore these deadly flaws.
Survivors told of locked exits, blocked doors, and the horror of finding escape routes sealed.
We listed every blocked door, holding management accountable.
These testimonies became a rallying cry.
We spoke with clarity and moral authority, turning a tragic fire into a story of preventable disaster.
Our experiences demanded answers and accountability.
We refused to let the deaths be forgotten.
Their courage to speak out was the first step toward real change. The truth could no longer be ignored. The government launched an investigation, guided by survivors' stories.
We listened to survivors and inspected the hotel, confirming their accounts. Tests showed high-mounted exit signs vanished in smoke within 90 seconds. Our report blamed outdated codes and documented every failed exit.
Investigators found chained doors, blocked exits, and stairwells that trapped people.
We mapped these failures, proving escape was nearly impossible. The report condemned hotel management and weak enforcement.
The findings were clear. The disaster was preventable.
Survivors' stories were backed by science and expert analysis. The report demanded change, turning opinion into undeniable fact. The old way had been proven deadly.
The investigation sparked public outrage, but real change needed action.
We formed the Safe Exit Alliance, demanding new laws for safer hotels. We shared our stories, making the problem real for everyone.
Their advocacy captured the nation's attention, forcing politicians to act.
We worked with experts to draft a new fire safety code: low signs, glowing strips, unlocked doors, and regular drills. We presented a practical, life-saving plan to lawmakers.
The hotel industry resisted, but the alliance persisted.
We protested, met officials, and kept the pressure on.
Their persistence, evidence, and public support broke through. The government passed a comprehensive fire safety law. It was a victory born from tragedy and courage. The system would never be the same. Survivors had changed the rules. The new law revolutionized hotel safety. Exit signs were now installed low, visible even in smoke.
Glow-in-the-dark strips outlined escape routes and doors, guiding people to safety.
Emergency doors had to be unlocked from inside, with push bars for easy use. Stairwells were pressurized to keep smoke out, creating safe evacuation paths.
Every room had a clear evacuation map, and hotels held regular drills.
The focus shifted from compliance to real survival. Guests and staff were prepared, not just protected by paperwork. The system was designed for people, not just codes. Safety was now visible, accessible, and real. This story is more than a lesson in design. It's about why safe exits matter, especially for women. Women often care for others in crises, making them more vulnerable and in need of clear escape routes.
The chaos of blocked exits is doubly dangerous when you're guiding children or a group.
Survivors' real-world knowledge was more valuable than any code.
Their advocacy created human-centered solutions: low signs, glowing strips, clear maps that help everyone.
Designing for the most vulnerable creates safety for all.
Today, every low sign and glowing strip is a legacy of their fight. Safety codes are a promise, a fair chance to survive. The women who spoke out didn't just change a law, they changed lives. Their voices, born from tragedy, now guide millions to safety. No one should be left behind in the dark.